All right. Hello, welcome to Fridays at 4 on twitch.tv/DDO stream. I'm your community manager, Cordovan, and I'll be with you for the next hour. We have a little bit of news. We'll be heading to PAX East next week. We have a patch set for Update 66 and a little bit more. And then I'll be doing some questing on my new Dragon Lord. I'm running through various sagas to get cards, to get some gear. And I'm level 32 at this point, so that's where we are. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you being here with me. So, not too much news to bring up, but let me go through what I do have. Give me a second here. I think it's this one. Oh, not quite, but good enough. I will go with this screen. I wanted to make sure that you're aware that you still have time to RSVP for next week's community meetup at the Harpoon Brewery in downtown Boston. But time is running out, and we are at capacity at this point. So, if you RSVP today, you'll be put on what's called a wait list. That means you'll probably show up and just be allowed in. But if we're at capacity on the venue, then you might have to wait for someone to leave. And that's how busy we are at this point. We have got what looks to be a pretty full house for our community meetup next Thursday, March 21st at the Harpoon Brewery near PAX East. It's for DDO, Lord of the Rings Online, EverQuest 1 and EverQuest 2. This is a co-production between us at Standing Stone Games and Dark Paw Games, and it should be a really good time. We have got some swag. I don't know if I should. Yeah, you know what? Let me do that. This isn't a. This is a cell phone pic that someone took. But this is the thing that we just came in today. Oh, and it's also sideways. Wonder if I can rotate that somehow. Not easily. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we got these pins, DDO pins, that we're going to be giving away. We also have some other swag from recent conventions. We've got the dragon prints that we'll have, and we've got, I believe, still even some older shirts and things like that, too. So, it's going to be a really good time. 7 to 11 p.m. at the Boston Brewery, and I hope to see you there. We've got dozens and dozens of DDO players who are going to be there, in addition to Locho and other players as well, from both of our games. So it's going to be a really good time, and we are going to be doing some giveaways and have some other neat things that we'll be doing during the community meetup. But we're also at PAX East. From 5:30 to 6 p.m. Eastern, we have got a presentation at the Dragonfly Theater. I don't know if it's going to be live streamed yet. If it is, you'll see it probably on the twitch.tv/PAX or PAX2 or PAX3 stream. And if we can get an archive of it up afterwards, we absolutely will. But we're going to be delving into monster creation. And we even have someone from Wizards of the Coast joining us as well. So it's going to be a really cool time. And hope to see you at PAX East or at the community meetup. And you're like, well, I would go, except I live in, like, California or something. And in which case, I apologize. But you'll miss out on a lot of fun. So just know that you'll be miserable and missing out on a lot of fun is really the main point I have to say is that, make you feel worse than you already do. We do have a pretty cool set of bonuses going on through the weekend. This is our final weekend of our 15% VIP XP boost. Especially if you're going to reincarnate. Might want to know about that one. 15% VIP XP through March 17th. We also have double daily dice XP through Sunday as well. And this is our final weekend to run the anniversary event. The anniversary event, we extended it from the 12th through the 19th. So it's now through the 19th, which is Tuesday. So it'll be shut off first thing on Wednesday when we bring the worlds down for what'll be 66.0.2, I think, is the name of the patch. Let me go double check that real quick. Yeah, well, I'll have to go take a look at that. I'm not seeing anything right on the schedule right now, but I'm pretty sure there's something, a small patch set for next week, or at least pretty close to it, so. And then we also have Update 67 arriving quite soon too. Those quests got a recent preview on Lamania, and they'll be released as part of Update 67. I think we're calling it something like Slice of Life, as the name of the quest pack there. And that'll be happening too.
A member of the 12 nods you over, eager to discuss. The librarian suddenly grabs the book.
What? No, I won't let him do that to you. We'll escape together before he gets here.
A burst of powerful magic knocks you down. When you
So I thought about putting tokens in more of the newer quests. I assume you mean like the...
Infinite planes. Or has the Codex run off with the librarian?
Turning down the music just a little bit here for the mix. Putting tokens in more... Potentially. We haven't really given it much thought, to be honest. I think they're pretty plentiful, but it is in somewhat older content now. Perhaps. Perhaps at some point in the future we can address that. But at the moment I think we've got other priorities. You want to run newer content to get your free hearts and such, maybe.
The librarian
Understandable.
the loose Codex page the gatekeeper was guarding.
Look! One of the pages that was cruelly torn from you! What's that? There are more! Oh,
the librarian finally snaps out of her stupor.
Yeah, so, I think I said this, last week as well, Syax, but just to repeat, it's going to be a little while on the new Players' Council. I know that the team went through this past week we have something like 300 applications, and the team went and made a series of recommendations based on those applications, and I'm going through the full list here. But we just released Update 66. We had a patch and things that kept us pretty busy latter half of last week, and then this week we've been really busy on the Lord of the Rings side, doing a whole bunch of work related to their new update that just went out on Wednesday, and other things as well. So I just haven't had time to even look at the list. We have the PAX East thing happening, and a bunch of things. We're getting ready with Year of the Dragon. The next month is coming up pretty soon. And just other priorities. So I have not had time to go through the list. It's going to take a little while before we do. But we will email people once we've gone through the list, and we'll say something on the forums and elsewhere in terms of the status of things, too. I'll go to the thread that we've got the info about the applications, and I'll be like, alright, we've gone through the applications and we've emailed people who are accepted.
And to your astonishment, the magically warded librarian makes her escape by crashing through the window.
So that's what's up. We have the list, everyone did a great job, and then we got super busy and we just haven't had time to look at it. Really, honestly. Except the team, some of the team has, and then like I said, they've made some recommendations just based on the list there of like, oh yeah, that person should totally go in, and so should they, and them, and etc. So we've done some work on it, but just not a lot. Me in particular has not done a lot. That's true. So I also have heard that next Friday, so evening a week from now, we're going to have a pretty goofy, fun hangout stream involving Cozy Bean, Voodoo Spice, I think Nymphin's going to be there, a whole bunch of people, and they're doing some kind of like hot tub stream. Kind of a, nothing too serious, but it's just going to be kind of like a hot tub stream hangout next Friday evening on Twitch. And I've been invited, and I've agreed to go. I don't think you're going to see me shirtless on camera. As a matter of fact, I know you won't. Ain't happening. But I will be in and or near a hot tub. And we'll be hanging out with other DDO peeps on Friday evening of PAX and having a good time. So that should be a fun stream. You don't want to miss that one, I'm going to say. I didn't say I'd have pants on. No, I'm kidding. I will not. I will have pants on too. They might be swim trunks.
You're back? To the abyss with you! Oh, why not? And the plane of water, too!
You suddenly find yourself completely submerged, as if you've been transported.
So it should be a really fun time, and I'm really looking forward to seeing people at PAX East. Every year it's always an amazing time. Should be really cool again this year as well. So at this point on this character, I'm really just kind of working on some gear, and like I said, I'm getting sagas done for cards. I did, was it Feywild last week already? I can't remember which, if that was last week or the week before that I finished up Feywild. And so now I'm working on Vecna, just getting started with it though. I'm not organizing this. I think to the extent it's being organized, I think Cozy Bean, Twitch streamer Cozy Bean, K-O-Z-Y-B-E-A-N, is the one doing the organization of it. It's going to be basically safe for work, would be my expectation. Maybe not 100% safe for work, but safe at least for video game studio work. I'm going to say probably on the Players Council, let's just say it's already Friday of this week. I was hoping to get to some of the applications this week, and it just never had time. I need to go through all 300 folks and do a quick sanity check on their posts on the forums and elsewhere, and disciplinary history and what have you, and just take a look more seriously at the writing samples that were submitted and try to find good candidates. In general, we want to bring people into the Players' Council, so while I don't think all 300 are going to be accepted, I do expect to bring in quite a few people compared to where we were currently at. I think we were down to maybe around fewer than 40 people on the most recent Players' Council. I'm thinking we'll probably be above that pretty significantly by the time it's all is said and done. Maybe we should just get rid of those things, the tokens of the 12 to reincarnate. What? I think that would be a very unpopular choice, unless, of course, we had a different way to do it for free. So we would certainly have to preserve some kind of method by which to get your free reincarnations in. But you're right, it wouldn't have to be tokens of the 12. We could do some alternate but equivalent system or something. You know, one of the things with the tokens of the 12 is they are the 12, so that means they're Everon based, which has some impact on, say, putting them in the Forgotten Realms or Greyhawk or things like that. It seems a little goofy that we have to worry about it, but we do. We do, in fact. So. Also, well, hello, Tavern Tales. Nice to see you as well. You've been doing really cool trivia nights over on DDO stream. Show you don't want to miss. Thuden, we've posted a thread on the forums asking for some cosmetics at the store and some armor appearances, most are NPC armor, added to the game so that you can glamour them. Do we think it is possible for the dev team to do that? I would need to take a look at the thread. In general, it is often the case that armor that is seen on NPCs doesn't exist in the same kind of format that player armor does. It's directly painted onto an avatar, as opposed to, say, created as a separate piece of gear that is then placed onto the avatar. And when that's the case, it usually means that if we were going to turn it into a cosmetic that anybody could use, we essentially need to redo it. You need to repaint it from scratch because you're putting it on a... Rather than painting it on a flat NPC, it's on a APR that needs to be stretched. And so it's sort of a different process entirely. So in that case, the answer is often not really. Not that we can't do it, it's just that it's a lot of work. And when we have other priorities, we often need to prioritize that other work instead. Sometimes we can, though. Sometimes it is meant as also something that could be on a piece of gear. And then we could always, like I said, actually do the work to create a new version of it as a wearable item that could then be glamored. You meant Reincarnation should be free at this point. Okay. Well, I appreciate the sentiment.
You're not sure what this desolate cliff might be.
I mean, I guess I would just say that, you know, the reincarnation system and the way it's monetized is a pretty important part of our continued future. So the idea of just saying, well, let's just not do that anymore is probably unlikely. We already do, of course, give away a bunch for free, right? So... Yeah, I'm going to say there might be, you know, some minor language and all that during that Friday stream. It's not going to be on DDO stream, by the way. At least I don't think so. Maybe we'll pop a host or something if it seems okay. But otherwise, support the other streamer channels and go to their streams instead. Am I excited about the VIP changes? Seems like it's been a long time in the making. Sure. I think it'll be a pretty good series of changes. I mean, I'm the community manager for the video game, so am I excited? Yes. Am I nervous? Yes. Am I hoping that people like it? Yes. I think people will, though. The current state of our updated VIP rewards. In some ways it's a little similar to what you saw a year ago, but in some ways it's very different as well. And the current work is going through internal testing at the moment. And once that's done, we'll work on getting information out to the public, and then we'll
says you can take the codex page
make the
she was
change.
using as a
So, under the current scenario, I think I would expect to see something more about the VIP program. I would say by around before mid-April. And with it approximately starting somewhere in the range of 30 days later. We want to give time for people to sign up and get hype. And then also, I think there's some... Oops. There's some, requirements when you're talking about changing people's billing and things like that. That should give official notice on stuff. So we'll be doing that. Okay. Wait a second, what did I do wrong? Nothing. I thought I already picked this up though, didn't I? What am I missing? Other than the fire guy down below. So I know in our producer's letter we had said something like released by the... Okay, what am I doing wrong here? It's been a while since... Actually, it hasn't been that long, but why am I not... What am I not seeing that I should be seeing? Okay. The right bubble. Oh, that would be the other one. Okay. I already did that one too, didn't I? Yep. Okay. So the other right, huh? All right. Didn't I already? Okay, that's not the one then. So let us try. We'll get it right eventually. I'll get it right eventually. There we go. I don't know that I want to drop any VIP hints. I'd rather not, you know, stress myself and others out by leaking info about that yet. I mean, I thought it was kind of crazy when they were going to buy everyone a free Ferrari, but, you know, that's what they want to do. That's fine by me. So, I mean, that's a lot of cars. I hope they made that many, but Okay. You know, I obviously do get a moderate amount of criticism about my gameplay, and it's just something I've learned to live with a little bit. But at the same time, the other big piece of feedback I often get is pretty regularly I hear from people who say, you know, you actually play like I do, and I guess that means I'm not going to stream because I don't want to have everyone criticizing me like they criticize you. But I've heard that enough that I know I'm not actually in the minority on that one.
You're still hounding us? Then I need something bigger.
I also do feel that I probably do play... I mean, I'm still not like some kind of... I'm probably never going to be someone that other players look up to for skill and build advice. But at the same time, I do think I probably play 20% better when I'm off camera, because I don't have to worry about the lights and the people and the stream. I can just sort of concentrate on what I'm actually doing rather than blabbing while doing it. And do a little better as a result. But that's the other thing I realized, is it's just like, I'm gonna play like I'm gonna play. It would be nice if if you would be like, wow, I can't believe you soloed that R10 content like that. But that's just not gonna happen. I'm not... Sometimes I do okay on stream. Sometimes they're better than others. I'm doing alright. I just got lost in that one bit. I mostly know what I'm doing.
Where do you think those pages are? I think the librarian has been distracted with the conversation with the codex. But then, a massive night flash bursts out to attack them.
And I'm liking how this Dragon Lord's coming together. I talked last week about some of my gear goals, and you gotta look at the current state of things, so I'm only, I'm not where I want to be yet, but making progress. And overall, I'm pretty happy with the survivability and my decent enough damage output balanced with said survivability and what have you. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how this Dragon Lord's come together. I talked last week about how I might do some feat swapping because I am currently sword and board. Despite being a Dragon Lord, I'm going sword and board, so I took an extra feat to get the shield proficiency, for example. And originally I had built it was like, well, let's just go with the longsword because that's what you have right now, and then we'll swap over to two-handed fighting or whatever once I actually get a weapon that is built up and I want to use. But now that I've been playing sword and board, I actually don't know if I actually believe that. I think I kind of want to just sort of keep it where it's at and not actually change things up, but we'll see.
To your surprise, Caliphan Riek allows you to take the codex page the Aurum had collected.
I would say sword and board has historically been a common go-to for me. There's something about the traditional nature of a fighter with the sword and board that I really like. I guess I've just done it a lot. Even the old mock duck from back in 2007 was
You
using a
place the
mace
codex
because I was a
pages on the
cleric then.
device. This immediately
tower
draws
shield.
the librarian's attention. What's that over there? More of your pages! Let me get them for you. The dispelment field flickers to life as you pull the switch, breaking the codex's hold on the librarian. What? What am I doing out here? Why isn't the codex in the library? While this crisis is over, it's clear you'll need to find a permanent way to deal with the codex and its corrupting aura.
Yeah, so my last character had been a Dark Apostate cleric, and I was using a longsword with the as a favored weapon and everything, which is why when I went to reincarnate, I was like, well, I really only have good longswords on this character right now, so what am I gonna do? And I was like, well, even though it's a little maybe unusual in 2024 to build a longsword-based fighter with a shield, especially a Dragon Lord, I was like, well, let's just do it, see what happens. And like I said, I've been pretty happy with how it's all turned out. A few tweaks I'm gonna do yet. We talked last week already about how I took improved trip just because I was curious. I wanted to see whether it would do anything.
The Tower of Orion looms ahead. Its polished
Answer is I
exterior
should
gleaming
swap
in the
out
night
that
sky.
feat.
Your informant, Alfred Rowe,
Probably take mobility and cleave instead would be a far better choice. But hey,
Alfred says that the inkwell of Orion is locked up somewhere on the top floor of the tower.
well, there's so many DC bonuses to like, you know, things like that in this tree. I was just like, well, let's just see what happens. Can I actually make some use out of this thing? Let me take it. And since I was already going to swap out my shield proficiency to get, when I went two-handed fighting anyway, I was like, well, let's just swap it out then. And now I don't actually know if I'm going to or not.
Surely it must lead inside the tower. The vent leads to a musty storage room.
But I do think I will get rid of improved trip. Because turns out, it doesn't actually do all that much. This, on the other hand, this Dragon's Roar, I'm liking this thing a lot. I also have really enjoyed using this lead the charge rush attack. It's been a pretty great way to close the gap and dish out some damage. So I'm gonna say there's a Venn diagram involving Dungeons and Dragons that at some point crosses over to the heavy metal band Judas Priest. I don't know how many of you are Judas Priest fans out there, but I was reading today, I like Judas Priest. I think they're pretty cool. I can't say that I'm like a big fan or anything. And I was reading today that they are set to have their most successful album in their history with their new album called Invincible Shield that came out this week, or last week, or something like that. Last week, maybe. And I just thought that's amazing news. Their 19th album suddenly becomes Judas Priest's biggest. It's bigger than British Steel. It sold more copies, really, than British Steel. How hot is that? I think that's just amazing. Also, that song is amazing. I think it's a really cool song. It's called Invincible Shield, which I also think could be a D&D spell.
You find a room
I mean,
containing a service elevator.
I did a Google search and nothing came up right away, but doesn't I cast Invincible Shield at level 7? I mean, that just sounds... Would you even know that I'm not talking about D&D? No. Why is Invincible Shield not a spell in D&D?
You open this grate into a cramped
Maybe we'll
vent.
need to do something about that. Oh, actually, I don't need to go here. I know, the Judas Priest with a new album, and it's, like, super successful. Oh, this is actually not where I want to go. Never mind. It's fine, though. I'll just do this. How did I end up over here? That's where I wanted to come through, isn't it? Okay. Here I am talking about Judas Priest and not paying attention to where I'm going. Still, I think Invincible Shield is a great name for a D&D spell and a heavy metal song. And I think that's just fantastic that after all this time, Judas Priest is right up there next to Ariana Grande. The UK pop charts. With a song called Invincible Shield.
You rattle the grate to no avail.
And how great is that?
Keyhole in its side. You'll need to find a key to get inside.
So I actually got to see Judas Priest live. This would have been in, I don't know, I guess I want to say something around 91 to 93. 1991 to 1993. And it was at the Target Center in Minneapolis. And they were the headliners. And with them was Testament as the first opener, and they had just released their album Souls of Black, which was the follow-up to Practice What You Preach, and Megadeth, who had just released Rust in Peace, which, although I have to admit, I know it's a really well-regarded album of theirs, I never liked it as much. So I was always a little bummed that they had lost their guitar player on that tour, or prior to that tour, because I really liked So Far So Good So What. That was my jam. But Rust in Peace is good too, and that was as amazing a concert as you would think it would be. I mean, come on, Megadeth, Testament, Judas Priest, that time in the 90s.
You find a small silver key atop this
Crazy.
rusty cabinet.
The other thing I remember very distinctly about that concert was there was this really unusual situation which I had not seen before, where I had tickets on the side of, really kind of towards the side of the stage, just because they were pretty big then, and tickets were kind of hard to come by. And so I had tickets, and try not to die here. So anyway, during the concert, I noticed that during some songs, and some songs only, there was another guitar player. They had two guitar players already on stage because they're Judas Priest. But there was a third guitar player who was sitting off stage, kind of back behind the amps. And during a few songs, they were playing backstage, I think as part of the sound mix or something. I'd never seen it before nor since, and I'm still not 100% sure what I saw, other than it was really unusual that, in my mind at least, that they had like a secret guitar player off stage somewhere. And I don't think that it was like, I don't think it was a matter of like the people on stage weren't playing. I'm pretty sure they were playing. It was just really weird to me. Oh, the whole thing was just really weird to me, and I'm still not 100% sure what I saw. I think it was just, you know, this was an era before they would just pipe in music or whatever. You know, a lot of modern pop singers in particular played a pre-recorded tracks and stuff, and it wasn't that. I mean, Judas Priest was totally actually playing. They must have just been like, well, we need a third guitar for this part, and this part, except you're not cool enough to be on stage with us. So instead you gotta sit back, kind of on the side of the stage and play? I don't know. I'm still not 100% sure what I saw there. Weird though, huh? And then at first I was like, well, maybe it's just a guitar tech tuning up a guitar or something. But no, they were actually playing. Oops. What did I do wrong? Oh. Wait a second.
The beam of light from the mirror strikes
Okay.
its target, unlocking the blue lever.
So when I last did this on stream, someone had told me on stream that all you need to do to solve this puzzle is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or whatever in order. I don't know if I actually believe that, but if that's true, I kind of want to check it out. Oh, it doesn't work anymore. Okay. Well, let's just do my patented Cordovan method of just randomly pushing things until it works. It never fails. Always successful. Oh, actually, it was pretty close to successful. At some point I'll run into something and I'll be like, oh, this is how I solve it. And then it's usually what I do. But I'm not there yet, am I? Okay. So, if we go there, there, then there. Someone needs to write up a guide for this at some point here. Let's see. I think if I do that. There we go.
The glowing tiles.
Yay!
Unlocking the red lever. The light beams guarding the lever sputter to a stop.
It's true. You could do this the actual way of getting the note and then doing it that way, but I guess I've just done it like this long enough now that that works too. Okay, so now we are going for the purple crystal. How about if I go back and actually hit the lever in the center? Nice going, me. Let's try that again. Oh. Which way am I going? I am going. There we are.
The purple crystal on the pedestal lights up, signaling that the vent in the lounge...
Yeah, I actually had, when this quest first came out, I was a little like, oh god, I'm gonna have to remember how to do all this every time. But I've actually found that a little repetition makes it not only fairly fast, but also pretty fun. I actually like this quest a lot. I would say it's become one of my favorite, I think, in Vecna Unleashed. Although you can have some real hairy moments if you accidentally fall off these levers and find yourself in a lot of combat on the lower side. It could be a little rough.
Crawl through the small vent and find yourself in the thick halls and the towers of the prison.
I didn't even see that I was taking damage. Maybe I should look at my health. Oof. That sounds pretty rough, Dark Wolf.
The door leads to a room littered with open books and alchemical tools. Evidence of the mage's experiments line the walls.
I think I may actually have a Sybaris cake that I could probably give my poor little cleric.
Inside this room, you see more tools for the mage's experiments.
So the screenshot of the week is something I've been wanting to bring back. I just let it go really because the submissions kind of dried up and it just wasn't really getting all that many views, and I was just having like the same, really about 5 people submit all the same not the same screenshots, but submit screenshots every week, and it really just wasn't getting a lot of promotion and things, so I kind of let it. And then I stopped doing the DDO Chronicle, which I do want to bring back as well. And so I've always had this thought about I'll bring back the screenshot of the week at the same time I bring back the Chronicle. And then I just, because really the screenshot of the week was created really due to the DDO Chronicle, because I wanted to have some kind of visual asset that I could, quote, easily have for the newsletter every week. And I was like, well, what if we crowdsourced it and gave away like 500 DDO points as a way to do it? And it was successful. People dug it. So, did it for years and years.
The last of the cranium rats twitches and falls still. You pull this lever and hear a door groaning open in the distance.
So one of the things I've thought about doing with it is to move away from the old emailed submissions and move over to something like we have a couple of kind of in-house things that we can tap into from our publisher, and one of them is this kind of social media related hookup program that lets you submit screenshots or enter giveaways and things like that. And I've had this thought in the back of my head for a while now to... Oh, I don't need to do this. I keep forgetting that. To utilize that, so all you would need to do is just upload it to there, and then we could even potentially have community voting, which is my other thought. Although you have to watch, you wouldn't want to have a gameable system too much, but we could, as a part of that, have like a community vote as well for the screenshot of the week, and I think that might make it a little more social and maybe a little more fun, really. So I thought about doing those things when I bring it back here, which I will do at some point. I'm not sure when the Chronicle is going to come back. I know that some people have... I'm like, alright, so when are you actually going to do this? But I am at some point, as soon as time permits. I have some other things I want to do, but I do want to bring back the weekly newsletters. Popular demand.
Another elevator stands before you at the end of this hallway, leading up to the top floor. The Inkwell of Orion must be somewhere up above.
Let's see, do I actually have... I do. I got a whole bunch of them. So let me bring a res cake over and bring back bulwark for the end here, because I might need it. Yeah, I mean, you could get all your friends to vote, and maybe I don't care to some extent, but you wouldn't want to have someone creating fake accounts, so it would have to be only a part of the overall vote rather than the determiner of the vote. But still, it would be a nice, easy way to submit your screenshots and for everyone to see what's submitted, and kind of get a better sense of what, what are the most successful screenshots of the week and not. And rather than it being me and whichever judges feel like being a part of it that week, it would give us the opportunity to get more community involvement on the input as to what are some of your favorite screenshots. And that's cool. We'll work back if I can. Alright, we'll do it this way then. Or not. Alright, who is killing me? It's probably these drones. There we go. Yeah, I agree too, that I think in practice, I mean, the amount of work you'd have to go through to game the screenshot of the week system probably means that it would be fun.
Inkwell of Orion does not seem to be here with them. Before you stands a group of hidden hand cultists. The Inkwell as well. They spring to attack.
Oh, I know what's up. I had them set for passive. I mean, I guess I did because I put them on passive rather than defense. But, I can still blame the Hireling, can't I? I mean, just because I told the Hireling not to do anything, that didn't mean I wanted him to follow my advice. Wanderlust wants to know, do we or anyone else in the dev team enjoy the hardcore game mode? Are you talking about the hardcore server? Yeah, sure. Quite a few of us have run on hardcore over the various seasons. Talking about, do we have a lot of on the dev team who runs Reaper 10? We have a few. We have some. We have some peeps on the systems team and elsewhere who have been in groups running on the reg. But, I don't. I tend to be a low Reaper at best.
The last cultist slugs at your feet. You open the door to find a mass of scarlet light beams that divide the room into a maze.
So I know that we're already at 5 o'clock here, but might as well run through the quest. I've got a few minutes to kill. I should be able to do this. We'll just go a little late. There we are. Finally, I can get my second wins back. Yeah, I missed the last hardcore season that happened over the holidays here. I was just busy with my son and other real-life projects, so I didn't really get to run too much during hardcore season 9 here. But otherwise, I've run pretty much all the hardcore seasons. Not that I've gotten on the leaderboards with them or anything, but that's okay.
You see a large ritual circle on the floor and a barrier of light beams. Beyond stands your final goal, the inkwell of Orion. A voice rings out as you step over the threshold and into this chamber. Scanning. Unauthorized personnel detected.
What do the Hirelings talk about us PCs when they hang out at the Hireling Union Hall? Probably mostly how it's just like, alright, so there was all these dragons and all these trash mobs, and they were in way over their head, and they clearly was on too high a difficulty, yet they told me to go down there and use the lever anyway. They didn't even bother killing everything. And they're sitting there telling me to use a lever? Are you kidding me? That's probably what they're saying. So I sat there and I was like, oh, I'm not using that lever. And then they were like, yes, you are. I was like, okay. So then I did. And sure enough, I died. Of course it was their fault. They're the ones who sent me down there to die for like 40 gold pieces. I swear the PCs just have no idea how to control anything. They're like brain dead. They just sit there and expect me to do everything. I was asking for a heal, but were they healing me? No. They never heal the hirelings. I don't think the hirelings are going to go on strike. I mean, clearly they've got pretty deep resurrection services. So, you know, their cost of doing business is low enough. And let's be real, sometimes they're just piking anyway. It's like, yeah, I just sat there at the front of the dungeon. They had me open up some secret door, and then otherwise I just stood around. I was in the necropolis, and all they had me do was just stand on this platform. That was pretty easy. Ooh, that was a little risky. Oh no. Oh, Jesus. Alright, well, fine. That was stupid. That was entirely my fault. Alright.
More enemies materialize before your eyes. So we did do a little bit of rating on the live stream, didn't I? I think we did, right? Because I did the, was it just during a preview? I can't remember how we did that now. Oh, I'm too enraged to perform this. Well, that sucks. I think I'm gonna die then. I need my healing. But it's been a little while. Maybe it's time to do another raid stream here. That would be fun. One of these future weeks here. Although we've got update 67 happening pretty soon, and that'll have the new adventure pack as well, the new quests to run through. And some of those are pretty fun, so it should be a pretty fun series of quests to stream, I think. I like the, there's one with Fred where you take him out on a human date. Yes. That is in fact what happens. Alright, now heal me. Yes, like... Oop.
the one thing about not being a cleric, right? I don't have my healing like I am used to.
Rock and its companions fall to the ground and turn.
Alright, there we go.
With the Guardians gone, the final barrier blocking the inkwell sputters out. Your path is clear at last. You carefully tuck the inkwell of Orion into your
Alright, let's see what we got.
Now to escape the tower before anyone notices its absence.
Okay.
You emerge from the tower into the fresh night air.
Well, that's going to wrap it up then for this Fridays at 4 on twitch.tv/DDO stream. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great week this weekend playing DDO. Hope you have fun. If you're heading to PAX East next week, if you're heading to the community meetup, I will see you on Thursday, March 21st. If not, if we can get the PAX East panel up on YouTube or something, we will do that. I don't know that I'm going to have a show next Friday. I'd say there's a pretty good chance I won't. So I think I'll see you in 2 weeks here for more on twitch.tv/DDO stream. You can find the full schedule over on DDO stream. We got shows all weekend long, all week long. So check out the other streamers and support them as well. Thanks for being here. Have a great weekend.